Eagles get it back. We're going to run some clock, or maybe throw the dagger.
Hello and welcome back to the Squawking Eagles Podcast. Thank you for joining us. I am joined by Miguel, as always, and today we have two guests from the Fumblerooski Podcast, CJ and Chris. How's it going, guys? Welcome to the podcast.
How we doing?
Finally.
Thanks for having us.
What's up?
Finally able to come on after we had you on the last few years.
Yeah, it's been a nice little switch here. I have you guys. Yeah, thanks for coming on. I know it's late. And I know you guys already probably recorded earlier today, correct?
Oh, no, we're going to record after this, actually.
Get out of here.
We're waiting for the honors to get done.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have to go over like our honors predictions that we did earlier, like before the season started. And, I mean, we did record stuff. We did. Chris, do you want to explain it? Because I don't want it to come off as like weird.
Yeah,
the promotion. Earlier? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we were approached by Kalshi to make some content for them.
Cool.
So in the coming days, we're gonna be coming out with what we believe to be the best bets, which
nice.
Lord knows how that'll turn out, but we got some good ones.
Yeah, so we recorded that earlier, but we still have to record our main episode. I still gotta make a thumbnail, but that's neither here nor there.
There's plenty of time in the day, right? Plenty of time.
And what's your success rate been on y'all's bets this season?
Chris?
Oh, I don't actually bet anymore, but I used to. But I still pay attention a lot to betting lines or just spreads in general. And we talk a lot. We kind of talk a lot too during like game previews as well. What the spread looks like, and hey, like I'm probably not thinking that this team's going to win, but 4.5's a lot. I feel like 4.5's a lot in this case. And lo and behold, Pats Seahawks 4.5 this weekend. But stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So these guys, they are Patriots fans. So we're going to talk a little Super Bowl preview with them and how they feel about the Seahawks going against their Patriots. And then Miguel and I will talk a little bit about what's happening in Philadelphia lately. And I know you guys have been hearing a little bit of stuff about who the Eagles have signed as OC and recently with somebody walking out the door that the Eagles have had in the building for 13 years. So yeah, let's get into it, Miguel. Recently, Jeff Stoutland has left the Eagles office. He's stepped down after 13 years, and he cited the fact that they took away run game coordinator from him in the middle of the season. Stripped him of that, and they said, I guess they said, you know what, we don't need him anymore, and he just kind of left on his own. Thoughts, Miguel?
I mean, this whole season we complained that we wanted to see something different from the offense, right? So I guess in mid-season, the only thing they can do was to, I guess, switch roles for different coordinators, right? And now you see that Jeff Stoutland probably wasn't very happy about that move. And even during the whole process of trying to find an OC, there were rumors coming out saying that a lot of OCs didn't want to come to Philadelphia because they didn't have control of their run game. They didn't want to have Stoutland as their lineman coach. So that was going to lead to problems either way. So it was either that the Eagles release him out of his contract or he do what he just did, which was decide to retire.
Which was also quickly, you can see that Sean Mannion, who the Eagles hired last Thursday to be exact, to come in as OC, he brought in his running backs coach from Green Bay. So he's already filling in spots with guys he likes. CJ, Chris, you guys, I'm sure you've been distracted by the Patriots, but there has been a lot of drama with the Eagles stuff. What do you guys think about that, or what have you heard and seen from the outside, from up there?
Chris,
I'll let CJ go first. I was going to let you go first.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
You've had very strong words about it.
I figured.
I was just going to say, I was stunned, honestly. Now, look, I'm not an Eagles fan, but I've known for like over decade that he's been there, that one of the big strengths of the Eagles has usually been the offensive line. You know, he brings in guys like no matter where they're drafted, no matter where they come from, and he makes them good. Like they just don't miss. You know, Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson in recent vintage. You had that 1 year wonder with Mekhi Becton, and you know you turned Jordan Mailata, a former rugby player, into a star tackle. You know, he worked with Jason Peters. He worked with Lane Johnson. He worked with Brandon Brooks. So I was just stunned. And honestly, I guess I just don't know why they took it away from him. Was that a Sirianni thing? Was it a Patullo thing? Do we know this?
No. Well,
we don't know. We know that Patullo and Sirianni were making running back choices, like options and running situations without his knowledge. I know that. Yeah, but we will really never know the exact exact truth.
It'll come out after Sirianni's not here, but I'm just suspecting that they wanted to make a change. Things were not flowing very well in the beginning of the season, so they decided to let's change what we can right now in season, and then try to do something different completely in the off season. And this is what the outcome was. They handled it completely wrong. They completely botched the whole situation, but.
Yeah, it looks bad. Like the amount of guys that were available as an OC that could have come here and chose to go to, I would say, lesser places, such as like Dable going to Tennessee rather than coming here, who he knew Jalen Hurts and McDaniel. I'm sure he would have been fine here, but I think with Vic Fangio here, that kind of turned him off too.
I understand Dable going to Tennessee because I think he has more of a chance of becoming a head coach, working or having a better season with Robert Saleh calling the defense and him calling the offense. It'd just be two separate. There'd be two head coaches calling two sides of the ball. So I feel like it worked out better for him than it would have been here, because that's the thing. Like with Dable and the Miami coach that went to San Diego to LA. They wanted to have their own coaching staff, and the part of it was that the Eagles wanted to keep Stoutland, and that's why he didn't end up here.
Right, which I think that's what happened, is that the offensive coordinators were finding out that was the deal. They brought in Mannion, and they said, you know what, Stoutland, you're just going to have to probably leave. And so he left. It sounds like he left on his own accord, but a guy like that who could come in and change these players into who they were. Like Mekhi Becton is going to be released by the Chargers. He was a flop with San Diego. I mean, LA. Yeah. He's going to,
San Diego, Mike.
It's always going to be San Diego. Always. And I'm thinking, like, will he even come back to the Eagles now that Stoutland's not here? Where if Stoutland goes somewhere else, maybe he goes there. Like,
well, it depends on how long his contract was, right? So even if he's decided to retire and he still has 2 years on his contract, I would think that it's the same thing as a player's contract, that they still have first strike.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
the real question on my mind is, did Howie give him an opportunity to interview for the OC job, or did he just not consider him at all? I mean, that would have been the good move, is to just bump him up to OC and then fill in with younger coordinators underneath him.
Yeah, that would have been probably a good bet.
Yeah.
Another thing go ahead, Steve. Go ahead, Chris.
At the same time, too, do you think that maybe how we saw the way that the offensive line was this year was like, maybe this is probably a telltale sign of what would to come if we were to promote him to OC?
Maybe, but we're also dealing with a decimated line, right? We dealt with a lot of injuries. Lane Johnson in and out of the lineup, Dickerson, Jurgens in and out. So who knows at this point, right? The whole season was a complete fuck show. So who would have known?
Right.
My next question for it is, can we get Jason Kelce to come in and be the offensive line coach?
Now we're talking.
Wow. That would be cool.
Absolutely.
You might need to pay a pretty penny to pull him away from ESPN or wherever he's at right now.
Well, I guess he could probably, he could do the same as Tom Brady's doing, right? Tom Brady's just, unless he is not Tom Brady too. So who do you know?
True.
Yeah, probably easier to get away with that as an owner though than as a coach.
Yeah. another thing that's popping up is that all these teams are wanting to trade for AJ Brown. AJ Brown was apparently requesting to be traded all through the season, and one team is in the talks. Is that would be the Patriots. So, what do you think the Patriots have to give up to get AJ Brown?
Well, the big talking point that we had in the middle of the season when the trade rumors first came up, right, is that the Eagles would have had to pay or would have been hit hard if they traded AJ Brown, because they would have had to give up a ton of money. Like,
the cap $43 million.
It would have been detrimental. And now it's not going to be as ridiculous this year, which a lot of people were saying that it wasn't going to happen during the season last year. It's more than likely, if it were to happen, more than likely to happen this offseason. Now, I would love for AJ Brown to be traded here. I really would. It makes sense. Use play for Vrabel, would pair great with Drake May, of course. But at the same time, too, like I said, the question is, what would you be willing to give up for that? It's hard to say that you're not giving up at least one first-round pick. CJ would probably be able to ground up maybe a better prediction of what that offer would look like. I guess this is me taking away for leaving it on for CJ now.
Go for it, CJ.
Cool. So before I get to that, the thing with AJ Brown was that we have to remember how these rumors came about. We found out that, later, and I'm sure you guys saw, it was Kevin Patullo who was feeding everything to the media. That in and of itself, look, I know AJ Brown's been a bit of a character, even last season from reading books on the sideline to now, and just openly calling for the ball just to drop it. Even with those transgressions, if I'm Howie, I'm sitting him down and I'm saying, dude, man to man, we gotta apologize to each other here, because Patullo doing that was terrible. And even though Patullo's not OC anymore, the fact that I believe he's I don't know if he's still with you guys or if they just left the door open for him to float around.
No, he's still there.
Oh,
yeah, he's got a back office somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some sort of closet.
I mean, I would still imagine that would piss off AJ Brown. That's what it is to me. Is that, can this be salvaged? And as far as a trade goes, this isn't a New England thing. This is a anywhere thing. It would have to be, how much leverage do you really have? Now, look, as a Pats fan, I respect Howie Roseman as a GM. He's done an amazing job over there. And especially, for trades, for drafting, and even for picking out coordinators. We can't let Sirianni do that. But as far as that goes, can you get a first? I feel like that's the major question here. Because, like I said, I don't know how much leverage you guys have, especially considering that Brown, he wants to be traded. And I don't know how good the situation is. Is it going to be like a Max Crosby thing where he's storming out of the building? Or is it going to be like a Trey Hendrickson thing where he's still going to play anyway? So I don't know. If the situation's as bad as we've been led to believe, then that's just further erosion of leverage. I could see a second round pick. I mean, maybe if a team gets really desperate, but like I said, it's mostly a leverage thing. You could probably get a first round pick if it's a late one. Chris brought up New England. You brought up New England. New England, worst case scenario, they get pick 31. Best case scenario is pick 32. I could see them giving up that. But if you're going to swing a trade with a team I don't know, somebody like the Teens, then I don't know if they'd be willing to.
Here's the other thing too, and CJ, you mentioned Max Crosby. Max Crosby, or Diana Rossini was just saying earlier this week that Max Crosby wants to be traded to New England or wants to play for New England. So that's another avenue that the Patriots may end up looking at too. So we could say, hey, you know what? Maybe it's going to be too much money to pay for AJ Brown. We like what we got in our receiver room. Let's go beef up the D line and go get Max Crosby because there's a chance he's cheaper.
That's the difference. So Max Crosby has said he wants out. He is when he was on Instagram, he said he wasn't hurt when they held him out that last game. He wasn't hurt. He wants to get out. You can see that.
Yep.
I haven't seen anything like AJ Brown saying he wanted to get out of Philadelphia. He's on the street giving out money to buy PlayStation 5s. He's not. He doesn't look like he wants to get out of Philadelphia. I'm not sure where all the I hate Philadelphia, I want to get out traded. I don't know where it came from. Someone is leaking it. Yeah. I don't know, but it just doesn't seem like it's AJ Brown wants to do that.
That's the national media creating clickbait, so that way they get more interaction with that. I mean, the one rumor that have heard was the straight up trade, maybe adding a draft pick in between, was Justin Jefferson for AJ Brown, because they both went out of their situations. So it's a good look for both teams, for both players. I mean. And it relieves those teams of those toxic players right now. So
right, and the Eagles, how is it going to trade away AJ Brown and make his team worse? It's just not going to do it for nothing.
He already said he's a great player, so he's already expecting to get at least one first round pick in there.
Exactly.
Just
do I want a 31 or a 32 first round pick?
No.
No, not really. Kelly could maybe turn it into something else, but I want to take that chance.
It's funny you mentioned Jefferson. I would have expected Jefferson to be less wanting to get out of the situation he's in Minnesota compared to AJ Brown.
I don't know, man.
As in it's been not as well documented, I should say.
Well, yeah. I think he was happier with Sam Darnold as quarterback than he was with JJ McCarthy this year.
He almost said that, yeah.
Yeah. I think that he was I think he actually did say that, right? He did say that they lost the opportunity.
He danced around it, but yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if that was a trade that was out there, if that's on the table, I mean, I'd go for that. That'd be my number one.
That'd be an interesting story with Justin Jefferson finally coming to the Eagles after that Jalen Reagor draft.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that.
But that's the other thing too, is how willing are you to get rid of Stephon Diggs? Because I mean, you could look at next year's quarterback class and be like, I want to go get Arch Manning. Who's to say that can't happen and all of a sudden Jefferson is happy?
Yeah, could be.
Yep. Sorry, I was
you're good.
That I don't expect Jefferson to get traded this offseason unless some team pulls up and says, yo, here's 3 first-round picks. But I will tell you, if the Vikings struggle again and miss the playoffs and J.J. McCarthy doesn't show any real progression, I can maybe see Justin Jefferson getting a little antsy and maybe not requesting a trade, but his unhappiness will be known.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, so we're all here. We're all here to talk about the Super Bowl.
You mean the Bad Bunny Bowl? Come on, man, it's the Bad Bunny Bowl.
That's what it is. Let's talk about the halftime entertainment by Bad Bunny. Patriots, they've had quite the how can I put it lightly?
Easy schedule
to get to the Super Bowl, and then an easy ride through the playoffs.
Yeah.
Damn it, Mike! I didn't rage bait you this much when you were on the
show.
I think
what you guys got to say? I know I've sent you a lot of reels about how the NFL media sees the Patriots' easy schedule and easy this. Hey, Eagles had it. Eagles always had easy schedule. Can only make it to the Super Bowl with an easy schedule.
Exactly.
And now it's nice to just put it on somebody else this time.
Yep.
How's it feel? What's it feel like?
Well, we're in the Super Bowl, so everyone can kiss my ass. Sorry, can you cuss? Can you cuss
sure.
On here?
Yeah.
But I've heard a lot of. I myself have heard, a lot of criticism back and forth in terms of the Patriots and for the Patriots, against the Patriots. I've also heard a lot of, especially this week or today, actually, Mina Kimes trying to stand up for Drake May's MVP candidacy. And a lot of these teams, or a lot of teams that Patriots played also played a lot of the playoff teams that were in this playoff picture this season. Obviously, the Patriots played a lot of the same opponents as the Buffalo Bills, and ended up with a better record than the Bills out of it. And on top of that, a lot of these teams that the Patriots played, yeah, their offense may have been dog, but their defense was top half in the league.
Yeah.
Playoff run in general. Talk about that. 3 top 5 defenses en route to the Super Bowl against the top 10 defense in the league.
Yeah.
Obviously Drake May did not play, like the offense didn't play up to standards because, we're talking about 3 top 5 defenses.
87 yards in that championship game.
Hey, you play the weather. It happens. I mean,
just for the record, if Jalen Hurts would have did that shit in the NFC Championship game, Philly would have lost it. They would have burnt Philly.
Oh yeah. Well, my thing too, you mentioned the AFC Championship game and whatnot with the weather. I would say that a lot of people would maybe agree, maybe not. I don't know if you guys agree, that Drake May is a better quarterback than Bo Nix.
I don't know how I feel about that. I'm still trying to decide how much I like Drake May.
Okay.
So Mark isn't here, and Mark is a big Oregon fan. So Bo Nix is from Oregon. So we've heard a lot of Bo Nix. It's hard for us to say Bo Nix isn't as good as Drake May because we've heard so much Bo Nix. Right?
enough.
Would you agree, Miguel?
Oh yeah, definitely would. I definitely would. So
now my point being is that if we're gonna say that Drake May is better than Bo Nix, correct?
Okay, yeah.
Are we to think that Bo Nix is doing any better when that snowstorm arrives? Now, granted, the Broncos should have been up 10-7. It probably should have been tied going into the fourth quarter if the Broncos kicked that field goal in the first quarter. It probably should have been tied. And we're talking about a completely different football game at that point. But I feel like it's silly to be telling me that Bo Nix is going to do any better in that snow if we're going to say that Drake May and Bo Nix are either the same quarterback or Drake May is better.
Right. That's a good question right there. That's fair because Bo Nix is going to be the same boat as Drake May. And so if Drake May is better than Bo Nix, then the Patriots would have won anyway. But if Bo Nix, but if so that's fair. I would say that's a fair. Like honestly, like Drake May does have a pedigree behind like where he's from. Like his parents are athletes. All of his brothers and sisters are athletes. Like he has a pedigree. So it's starting to come out. It's starting to show through what we're seeing. Now, granted, the AFC Championship game was not great resume to put on there, but still he's in the Super Bowl and he's on a rookie contract still too. So it's pretty good.
And to kind of, circle back to the regular season too, like throughout the regular season, the Patriots defense really wasn't a great team in terms of DVOA. They were bottom half of the NFL in terms of DVOA. And normally when that happens, your team isn't really supposed to go to the Super Bowl either.
Right. And you guys face a lot of backup quarterbacks this whole season, right? You guys didn't even face a lot of starting quarterbacks.
I
feel like you guys didn't see a lot of the starters
in terms of. I mean, now I gotta think of who.
Now you gotta think about it, right? Yeah.
I gotta think about
There's only two that come to my head.
Did you had
Tyler Huntley
face Tua twice?
The game and like Jared Stidham.
No, we played Tua once, and then he got benched for week 18. I'm trying to remember which week we.
I mean, Miami was like a bottom feeder anyway, so like how much difference is that really going to make?
No,
But when I bring up the regular season, though, again, in terms of like when the Patriots played these teams, a lot of these games, outside of like playing the Falcons, or there's another team in there as well that's not coming to mind, but most of those games we were beating the crap out of these teams, or the Pats were beating the crap out of these teams. Like they were not close. And a lot of these games from last year too were actually close. The Pats were losing a lot of one-score games last year. A lot of people forget. So the fact that obviously, you build up a much better team, you actually spend some money and get some guys in, get a great defense, it definitely helps. It definitely does. But I think that gets lost on a lot of people at the end of the day. Sorry, I agree.
I agree. I agree with that.
But
go ahead, CJ.
For me, here's the thing. What you got to realize is they say, oh, New England hasn't beaten a lot of teams above 500. I would counter with New England is a reason that a lot of these teams aren't above 500. Like the Baltimore Ravens went 8-9. So did the Buccaneers. So did the Falcons. And New England is the reason that they're not. I'm just going to come out and say it. Like, okay, they all beat New England and they're all over above 500. New England made sure that they were not. And furthermore, last year's team with Gerard Mayo, look, if Gerard Mayo is still the head coach, I don't even think they go to the playoffs, roster improvements or not. Chris even mentioned it. There was just no clutch factor at all. If it was like a 3-0 lead in the first quarter, then you could pretty much count them out. Yeah. And I don't think they win. Like, I don't think they beat Tampa. I don't even think they beat Buffalo once. They probably lose week 1 in Miami. Yeah, honestly, they probably lose week 2. They probably lose to Cleveland. They definitely lose to Baltimore. So I don't know, this whole schedule thing, like, I get it, but part of me also feels like if it's that easy, then why doesn't every team every year that has the weakest schedule go to the Super Bowl? And a lot of them don't even go to the playoffs. And something else that's I think that's worth considering is that this is really the first year we've heard people just bitch and moan about the schedule. And it's, like on a national level. And a lot of it is just because it's New England. Did you see the Candyland cakewalk that Cam Newton had to go through during his MVP year? I didn't hear a peep out of anyone. Same thing with Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. What's that? Oh yeah, and he actually won MVP. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
I would say, I'm sorry, Chris, but CJ touched on the point that I'd like to bring up. I think it's more of Mike Vrabel having this team in a good coaching game plan rather than you guys went out and won a physical game. You guys out chess matched, you know what I mean, the other side. You outplayed them mentally than physically on the field, I would think.
Yeah, that does happen a lot. And as a Pats fan, I could say that the game planning's been great. With him, Josh McDaniels, Zach Core stepping up on defense. When Terrell Williams had prostate cancer, he's better now. I'm grateful for that. But another thing too is what we can all admit it. Whether you love New England, whether you hate them, whether you're in the middle. One thing that we can't deny is the flagrant moving of the goalposts. The Chargers beating New England in the wild card round was the most popular upset pick. And they're saying, oh, New England doesn't know how to play real playoff ball. They don't know how to defend a good quarterback. Justin Herbert's going to come in and put belt to them. New England wins. It's like, yeah, well, it's just Justin Herbert. And it's like, no. Two things can't be true at once. And then I remember one analyst said, oh, well, you'd be lucky to score 10 on that Texans defense. All right, well, New England put up 28. And then it's like, oh, but CJ Stroud. Have we ever considered that New England's defense just put him in a box? Maybe CJ Stroud didn't sell. New England's defense just gave him belt, because those were I don't know if you saw some of those picks, especially the 2 by Carlton Davis, like insane, like knee dragging, laying out. That was insane. Also, New England literally didn't get any points off those turnovers. And I hate except for the pick 6, which I will grant you. But all 3 of their other touchdowns, Drake May threw on that defense, a defense that also played Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, who could not pull off that feat. None of those came off of turnovers. And as for Denver, I mean, yeah, I get the whole no quarterback thing, but New England has never won a playoff game in Mile High. And I don't care if you have Jarrett Stidham. You're playing in the elements. You're at home. The defense is abusing the Patriots' offensive line. Hey, I'm sorry, Denver should have won. Mike Vrabel just outcoached Sean Payton.
100% did. 100%. Sean Payton left that game on the field. That was him. Yep. That was him, not Jared.
Oh, also, do we remember the media literally making those Jarrett Stidham, Nick Foles memes? I remember.
There's a ton of them.
Yeah, and
there's a ton of them.
Exactly, and that's the thing. They spend all this time gassing up Jarrett Stidham, And then when he lost, like, well, it's just Jarrett Stidham. And here's something that I worry about as a Pats fan.
Well,
Let's
Nick
just say
Nick Foles deleted the quote that he the text that he said.
See that. That's true. That was weird.
Oh,
but
that was weird.
Here's something that I'm concerned about as a Pats fan. If you go to the comments, people are saying the Super Bowl is going to be a blowout. New England's going to get demolished. They're going to get dog walked. It's going to be like 30-0 at halftime. You know good and damn well, if New England wins the Super Bowl, then we're going to hear, well, it's just Sam Darnold, or they're going to start milking his oblique injury, or it's like, Nick Emmanwori twisted his ankle, that's why you didn't win, or they're just going to pull something, or the refs breathed wrong, or it's just Sam Darnold, even though it's supposed to be a blowout. It's just, I can deal with the schedule trash talk. What I can't deal with is the flagrant moving of the goalposts. It gets to a point where it's just like, okay, bro, like, here's a cup you can cry into. Fuck off.
You guys sound like Philadelphia fans. Like, if I didn't know any better, like, I feel like you guys are Philadelphia fans. Like, this is what we've been dealing with the last 5 years. They always move the goalposts. It's the same thing that the same thing I said about Jalen Hurts. So, they say one thing about Jalen Hurts, and then another quarterback in the league does the same thing, and it's quiet. It's crickets. You know what I mean? And it's ridiculous.
Yeah. There are levels to that. And the same thing happens to Lamar Jackson, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh Allen had a 4-turnover performance in the playoffs, and he did not get a single lick of blame. I mean, Lamar does that. Oh, you guys said Jalen Hurts does that, and it's wall-to-wall coverage. And by the way, Miguel, for what it's worth, I did grow up in Delaware, and I was like a stone's throw away from Philly. So
there you go.
Probably where it is.
You were off on you.
I knew it sounded familiar.
I was born in Mass. My parents are Pats fans, but I lived most of my life in Delaware, so I was like an hour away. So
I think the last thing that I'll say in regards to all this is there's a lot of historical teams that had extremely easy schedules and easy paths to the Super Bowl too, and those teams are not remembered for that. One of them being the 1999 Greatest Show on Turf. And I think David Andrews said it best as well last week. If the Patriots win the Super Bowl, or honestly, whoever wins the Super Bowl for that matter, they will not be remembered for that. Well, maybe the Patriots if they do lose, because it's the freaking Patriots. But if they do win, but at the very least, if they do win, they will not be remembered for having an easy schedule or whatever the rank is.
Because it's no longer a topic of conversation. It's over. Like they've done it and it's over, and now they're just going to move on because it's not clickbait anymore. You can't just say it's just over.
It's like Bill Belichick in the Hall of Fame, right? Like, yeah, he got snubbed this year, which we are still very pissed off about, but he's gonna make it next year, and
Robert Kraft, right? Robert Kraft got stoned.
Well, Kraft has been stonewalled for the last however many years at this point. So,
I thought that was his first ballot. That wasn't his first
or
maybe
it was.
Okay, so then
it just looks bad for the Hall of Fame. That's all. That's all it is.
My next question is: Brady's up next year, and he's going. This is his first ballot. Will they stone him out as well, or not?
I thought he was up in 28.
I thought it was next year.
I don't know. We'll see. But
now you're asking me to remember when Brady retired.
Yeah, right. Who knows?
That's 1208.
Yeah, no.
So how do you? Go ahead.
No, we can move on.
I'm just gonna move on. How do you guys think about? What do you guys think about the Seahawks? Like, the Seahawks are number 1 seed coming out of NFC. They have Sam Darnold, who is kind of, the first quarterback in the 2018 class to make it to the Super Bowl, and before Josh Allen, before Lamar Jackson, before these big names, and he has an opportunity to beat the Patriots, who he faced many years with the Jets. Like, there's a lot of storylines here. Jets fans. There's a Jets fan here where can a Jets fan handle Sam Darnold winning the Super Bowl after all those years? No, I don't think they can.
No, their heads are going to explode.
No, I see all these coping Jets fans in comment section saying, we're actually rooting for Sam Darnold. We're going to be happy for him. It just reminds me of that meme of the guy who's bawling his eyes out, but wearing that happy mask. Like, if you've ever seen, it's like a little cartoon guy. Got the mask with a smile, but he's crying. That's the Jets watching Darnold.
Yeah, but at the same time, too, Jets fans know that they are the quarterback's worst nightmare. Like, I think that they are accepting with the fact that Sam Darnold is successful elsewhere, and a lot of other quarterbacks will also be successful elsewhere. And yeah, I would also probably agree that they're not exactly rooting for either the Patriots or Sam Darnold. They're definitely not rooting for the fucking Patriots. But I would be I would say less than surprised if I saw a lot of Jets fans being like, you know what, I'm happy for Sam Darnold. I'm happy you got that.
Yeah. I don't see it. I just don't see it.
Yeah. No, I kind of am rooting for Sam Darnold. I mean, the story behind it, it just is too magical for me not to. And plus, I hate the Patriots because of 04 and all my other reasons. But
you got the payback.
Right, we did, but still, that little tinge of hate still lies in there. Can't get it off. But yeah, just to see him win the Super Bowl against a team that was famously he saw a ghost against, right? So that's the one thing that I makes me interested in watching this game.
I would agree with you, and I think CJ would agree as well. Obviously we are looking at a much different Sam Darnold than what we saw then 2019 and those other years as well. And you look at Sam Darnold's statistics against the Patriots, including a game when he was on the Panthers. They're not pretty. They are one of the least pretty things you have ever seen in your life. And obviously that goes into your head and then you start thinking, it's a tough team, but it's also Jarrett Stidham. Then you start to get into that mode, which I'm trying not to get into that mode because this is a much different Sam Darnold, and this isn't the New York Jets either.
Yeah. They're pushing the whole Sam Darnold is like a gritty guy. Like his grandfather, I don't know if you heard this, his grandfather is the Marlboro Man.
Yep.
And so they're like, that's like they're pushing this whole like this guy's gritty and like he comes from a rough background and he's like I don't know. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
You should have heard what he had to say about who his hero was, which he said was his dad. Great answer, of course.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yep. But he was like,
did he get emotional too? Did a tear come down his eye?
Gonna put a tear in my eye, man. Come on. No, but he's talked about how his dad had to wake up at 2:30 in the morning, work at the mills or whatever his blue collar job was at the time, and then take a little nap, wait for him to get home from school, and then go play catch. So at the same, I see a little grittiness. Grittiness.
I mean, you have to have a little bit of career. To have the career that he's had, you have to have the grittiness. Like the whole down from being drafted. What was he, number one? That
three
that draft, right? He's on the high right there, right? And he has the bad seasons with the Jets. They move on from him. He goes to San Fran,
Panthers.
He went to the Panthers, continues to fall, then goes to San Fran and starts rebuilding himself. Has the excellent year in Minnesota, and then does what he does this year in Seattle. I mean, that's grit, because a lot of people just would have given up at that point. You know what I mean? So,
well, they're pushing it. They're definitely pushing it. They're hearing this story about all of his story is coming out now. So I don't know. I like to hear. Let's hear some predictions here for this Super Bowl. Chris, I'll let you go. You go first. Give me some of your predictions for this game. And then give me a final score.
All right. Well, one of the predictions that CJ and I were talking about, it's something that we were actually recording earlier today, actually, and it's one of the things that we were looking at is just Super Bowl rematches and what happens in the games that follow afterwards. So we're looking at the Cowboys and the Steelers. We're looking at the Patriots and Eagles. We're looking at the Patriots and the Giants and seeing like the total points scored from that game or those games. And we found that more likely than not in the rematch, doesn't matter how many years apart it is, the rematch sees less total points scored. So look at the Seahawks and Patriots. That total points in that was 52. this game, it's the over-under right now is 45.5. We're thinking it's going to be under, but obviously that could be a bit of a toe line there, considering that 45.5 is still well below 52. But that's one of the things that we were talking about. But for this game in general, I truly believe this is not going to be a blowout by any means. It's very rare in this day and age that you see a Super Bowl blowout unless it's a touchdown, an insurance score in the final 2 minutes of a game. Yeah, or last
year. The Eagles versus Chiefs, or
last year.
Exactly. And we found, and there's a lot of statistics out there right now that are favoring the underdog, which would be the Patriots, to records against the spread, which is, I think it's 17-7 since 2001. Yep. So you have that. AFC teams in general in the last 11 years are 8-3 against the spread. So this is not going to be a blowout by any means. Maybe the Seahawks cover, and it's still a 1-score game, but Patriots, Seahawks, this is going to be a fight. I think my score, I've been sticking with the Patriots every single game this year, and I'm not going away from them.
Okay, Mark.
And I won't be going away from them when we do our Super Bowl special either. I'm going Patriots by 3. 24-21 is going to be my score, final. Drake May's MVP. I could see him throwing an interception and 2, maybe 3 tugs, maybe a rushing tug. But outside of that, I don't see Sam Darnold having the prototypical I'm seeing ghosts type of game. I think that he's going to have the type of game where, he's keeping his team in it, and both defense are going to be making plays. There's probably going to be a couple turnovers on either side. Sam Darnold has the most turnovers in the league. Drake May has a fumbling problem. Neither O-line can really hold up that, Patriots O-line can't really hold up that well compared to the Seahawks O-line. But, I think that we're going to see a lot of good defense and good offense. Probably a lot more good defense at the same time.
Yeah.
CJ may have different opinions, but
as a Pats fan, I am stressed about this game. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think they're gonna win. And maybe I'm just letting the haters and the noise get in my head, but JSN is terrifying. I will say one thing though. I like Gonzalez, and if they can put Hawkins over top of him, if you can, because I don't think you could stop JSN, but if you can slow him down, then I think you probably can win, because look, their offense runs through JSN. There's no question about it. If he's having an off day and you make the offense run through Darnold, then I definitely think so. And for what it's worth with New England, I definitely think their defensive line is the advantage, especially with the interior. They got Milton Williams of Eagles lore and Christian Barmore, who's a game wrecker in his own right. So, and you guys probably know this, the worst place for a quarterback to get pressure is up the middle, and that's the one place where New England excels. You got Gonzalez, Davis, and Jones in the backfield. That's huge. But the thing for me is just the offense. The more I go back and I watch, that Pats offensive line is really concerning. It's the left side. It's Will Campbell and Jared Wilson. And the worst part is, it's not that they're bad. It's not that there's any glaring deficiencies in their game. It's that they're rookies. And they're playing like rookies. The clear lack of experience has shown. Also, I'm 90% sure Will Campbell's still hurt because he had that MCL sprain or something like that. And you could tell he's still a little sluggish from that. And I think the name of the game for both these teams is you cannot be one-dimensional. The Seahawks have the best run defense in the league, and New England, ever since Milton Williams has come back, has been clamping up the opponent's run game. So I definitely think that if Darnold is being forced to throw the rock, same thing with May, because I think New England's 0-5 in games where Drake May is over 35 or more attempts. Or I know it's bad, when they force him to throw again and again and again and again. Same thing with Darnold too. So I don't know. I just think it's going to come down at the end of the day to star power. because to be frank, I think New England's the better coach team, but for Seattle, it's just talent. I think it's going to be an ugly game. I think it's going to be a sloppy game, but Seattle's talent probably bails them out at the end.
What's your score prediction, bro?
What kind of score?
Honestly,
we don't do the score predictions on our side.
I can feel like 23-17 or something like that. But it won't sound as exciting. It's going to be a slog, I promise you.
Pats or Seahawks? 23-17.
Unfortunately, Seahawks.
Oh, wow.
Although, if New England wins, you do not want to be on that episode. I will tell you that right now.
And look, I was saying this before we got started up too. Like I like for every single Boston sports team, I've been keeping my expectations low on everything. And like, so for me, everything that's happened this year for the Patriots is just cherry on top for me. So like obviously I'm picking the Patriots to win. I'm also kind of in the same boat as CJ. Like I'm not going to expect them to win. So then I'm not crushed with total defeat when it actually, I'll still be sad. I'll still be really, really sad, but it won't totally crush me.
That's how I'm dealing with the 76ers this year. That's exactly how I'm feeling with the 76ers this year.
I feel
Miguel, I can't believe they traded him. Like, why did they trade him?
Unbelievable.
For like nothing.
Why?
For nothing. Yeah. 0 cents. 0 cents. Now he's going to be like this great player for OKC. I can't even.
Right.
I can't even.
There's my rate bait for you today, Mike.
Miguel, what do you got, buddy?
All right. Well, I already kind of gave mine away. I'm already leaning towards Seattle. I think the Patriots will focus too much defense on JSN. I think Barner will have a good day. I think Kupp will have a decent day, enough to help them get it over. I think my score is going to be 28-24. I'm just going to put it out there like that. Like, I just think it's going to be – I think both teams can adjust to either play style. Either we're going to have a shootout or it's going to be a defensive game. Either way, I think they can both turn a switch on and adjust. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting game. I think Seattle does have a very good defense, but I mean, both teams are young. And I think with the experience that the Patriots have on their side with Milton Williams and Vrabel, even like he knows how to set up a Super Bowl team. And I hate to say that I'm going to say the Patriots are going to win this game.
Bite your tongue, Mike.
Bite my tongue, but I have to say it. I say like the 27-20 game. Like it's going to be close, but I think Drake May is going to probably show us who, Drake May, right? It's going to be a good game. I'm excited to see what Drake May is going to do. Like, it's going to piss people off because nobody wants to see a New England dynasty again. Like, nobody.
No,
nobody wants to see that.
No, but it's impressive to see how quickly they rebuilt.
Except for you guys.
Yeah.
It's impressive to see how quickly they rebuilt. So it's great.
It was quick.
Two head coaches that are defensive gurus in their own right. So it's gonna watch it be like a 6-3 Super Bowl or something like that. It'll be right. It has a possibility. It could be either like a 33-30 game, or it could be a 3-0 game. I don't know. We don't know. We'll tune in, but I'm tuning in for that money, so it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
But I hate it
like
2 weeks. I wish it was just a 1 week off because it leaves so much time for like people to get hurt, people to get sick. It's all this game planning and all this like preparation. It's like I want the game to happen. Like. Do it already, and forget about the Pro Bowl. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the Pro Bowl.
They got to do something like that. They got to change that.
I didn't watch any. I just highlights.
Stop having these games. Okay, I like the skill competition part. Like, I like that part. Maybe keep that, but stop with this flag football bullcrap. Like, just don't have these players out there because
Jalen Hurts was throwing dimes out there. Dimes.
Yeah. And he was scrambling and throwing. Go figure. Go figure.
Throwing on the run and everything.
We have a lot of strong opinions about the Pro Bowl as well. I think that we actually ended up getting a live reaction of Shadur Sanders being named a Pro Bowl alternate or being named to the Pro Bowl. It was so funny. It was so funny.
How did that happen?
TJ, do you remember that episode?
Yeah, I do. I was the one that brought it up. I was stunned.
That's right.
Look, the
That's
NFL.
right.
I don't know how. I'm a typical NFL fan. I can point out a problem. I don't have a solution, but they got to do something about the alternate system because look, we were so busy zeroing in on Shador Sanders that the other alternate was Joe Flacco.
Yep.
So it gets to a point where look, I know the Pro Bowl is a popularity contest, but good God, it's just the alternates are a joke. And I mean, to be fair, Joe Burrow was like the third alternate because none of the three from the AFC, which was Drake May, Josh Allen, and Justin Herbert, none of them did it because Herbert declined. I think Allen's actually hurt. May's in the Super Bowl. So, like, I get it. But it's bad when Trevor Lawrence declined. Lamar Jackson.
No, CJ. You know it looks bad when Justin Fields declines.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when it's bad.
Fields declined. Tua declined. Like, so many of them declined. Like you said, like Justin Fields, and they just said, no, I don't want to. So you're going with Shador Sanders and Joe Flacco. Look, I'll give him Joe Burrow. We love Joe Burrow. Like, he's a very good quarterback. But, that's all I got to say.
Doesn't look good.
It was
I like Miguel makes a great point, though. Keep the skills competition. Every other sport has a great skills competition. It's very entertaining. NHL does the hardest slap shot. Baseball has the home run derby. Basketball has their skills competition, which is very entertaining. Keep that. Everything else, just scrap it.
But the problem is we
don't
need
need flag football
competition. They need more.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was watching an NFL throwback video on YouTube where they used to do this thing with quarterbacks where they'd take the nose of the football, dip it in chalk, and they'd have all the players just chuck it down the field. Like,
you watched it on YouTube. I watched it live. Miguel and I watched it live.
Yeah, you had guys like Drew Bledsoe, rookie Peyton Manning, Cordell Stewart just launching it down the field. Like, bring that back. Just have the real show of arms. And second, this was a thing in the mid-2010s where they would do so with the kickers. They had this thing called kick-tack-toe. It was a big tic-tac-toe board. Between the uprights, they'd, kick to win. That was cool. Bring that back. Like, bring back like the throwing competition. Bring back kick-tack-toe. They had so much good stuff, and they're getting rid of it in favor of dodgeball, which is cool, I guess. But
they're pushing to flag football. Yeah, they're pushing to flag football because it's going to be in the Olympics in 2 years, and they want NFL players in it, and so. Why just get people used to do it right now? I think that's what the thought pattern is, and I don't really care to see old men, grown men play flag football. I really don't, and I'm really interested.
I'll be interested when the Olympics come around.
I mean, that'll be different. But old guys who are in the NFL playing flag football, like it's just kind of like defeats the purpose. I don't.
Yeah.
Just what are you doing?
I think Olympic flag football should be in this upcoming Winter Olympics because we see all these weather games and snow classics.
That'd be great.
The other countries play some real football.
That'd be great. That would be great.
I like the way you think, CJ. I they were cooking here.
Yeah. I think that'll do it for us, guys. You guys have you want to talk about what you're pushing, what you guys got on your podcast coming up?
Well, we got the when's this coming out? Friday, I assume.
Yeah.
This will be out tomorrow.
This will be out tomorrow. Well, we'll also have our episode out tomorrow as well. Talk about the NFL honors and got our Super Bowl special coming out on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. I believe is when we're going to push that, and that'll be our where we'll get more in depth into our Super Bowl picks, prop bets, including the coin toss, Gatorade color. Coin toss. If you don't pick tails, then what are you doing?
Real quick, you guys got to tell me what you think Benito's first song is going to be to open up the halftime show. I know none.
I'm not.
I don't know.
My girlfriend was like,
period.
My girlfriend was like, "Oh, are you excited about Bad Bunny?" I'm like, "Sure." I don't know. I'm worried about Drake May, man.
Yeah.
But like, I'm indifferent to Bad Bunny. He's a popular artist. That's good for him, and he gets people going.
Yeah, like
I
I'm
have seen
happy
the
for
WWE
him.
clips.
That's
Those are
bad.
electric. Those
Right.
are electric.
But like, I don't know. I'm just not a huge music guy, like in general. The only song of his I've heard is Monaco, and that's from Instagram Reels. So you know what? That's my guess. Just kind of like it's like a full court heave, you know what I mean? But
It's a great song.
yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
you doing like a full court heave there. But yeah, no, I usually don't watch halftime show. I mean, I watched the Kendrick Lamar one last year, and there was the one with like 50 Cent and all them. I watched that, but I usually just don't watch the halftime show in general.
Right.
Well, gentlemen,
that,
thank you for coming on. What? Go ahead. You guys. Let's
I was going to ask
thing.
Miguel if that's his favorite artist.
Bad Bunny?
1000%.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's
And he's got the
concerts.
Respect. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Gentlemen, I appreciate you guys coming on. It was fun to have you finally come on. Good luck. Enjoy the game, and then we'll chat after that. After the game, Miguel,
I like.
send us out.
You already
go
know
ahead.
how we do. EAGLES. Eagles.
Eagles.
Go
Go
Birds.
Birds.